Hello everyone, this is Oliver Joseph and I am recording this as of the 31st of October 2023. Now, I have written on my Tumblr about what's been happening, but I would like to make this recording to get it over onto YouTube as well, because things have been very, very tough for us recently. Now, I have made a blog on this on Tumblr. I'll probably have it in the description, but if I don't, I'm going to explain everything that's been happening. Bit of a trigger warning, I am going to talk about cancer, specifically leukemia. I'm going to be talking about bereavement and death, end of life care, and many thoughts of depression or hopelessness. So if this is too much for you, please do not push yourself to listen. You can just get a basic understanding that this is a very difficult time for us, and if that's all you want to know, that is perfectly fine. Now, about 3 years ago, my mother became unwell. She noticed that she was getting tired more often, but as she was in her mid-60s, she thought she was just getting old and her joints were getting a bit more stiff, and that was the cause of the pain. But when she went in for a regular checkup for bloods, they found huge abnormalities. Now, this is very broad, I want to say. It's a broad thing, so they did several tests, and my mother was eventually diagnosed with leukemia. If you don't know what leukemia is, it's a form of blood cancer, and basically the person will get weaker and weaker immune system, less blood cells, less red blood cells, and if left untreated or can no longer be treated, it will, like many cancers, eventually lead to death. Now, originally we thought we caught it early. She was going to have chemotherapy and she was going to have blood transfusions, and then in the end of it all, a bone marrow transplant. And we all thought she was going to make it. She had beaten cancer twice before, and this was her third time battling cancer. She survived for so long. We were all certain she was going to beat it again, even though we didn't catch her as early as we thought. We thought she could make it, even though we couldn't surgically remove the cancer. However, things didn't go as smoothly as we expected. Her first round of chemotherapy weakened the leukemia but didn't kill it. So she went on to an experimental treatment. Now, this experimental treatment is very powerful. They said either if the cancer wouldn't kill her, the treatment would. She survived this treatment very well, in fact, and she was about to have a bone marrow transplant to help her with her strength and to help her cope with daily life, so she could become as functional as she was before. Unfortunately, the cancer, after she'd been it the third time, the cancer returned, and unfortunately, it was terminal. They confirmed it was terminal, and the bone marrow couldn't do anything for her anymore. So what they were going to do was just continue giving her blood transfusions to keep her going as long as possible. We thought she had months, perhaps years, but we were told just 2 days ago it wasn't going to be weeks, it was going to be days, if we were lucky. In the early hours of today, this morning, she had a downfall. She had a case of internal bleeding, so that was shocking, to say the least. And to deal with that, we were rushed in. We had to get an emergency taxi to go into the hospice to see her. She didn't have much strength. She couldn't speak. She could only make a few noises. But we stayed with her all night, barely getting any sleep. But I got some sleep and was invited to go and see her. But as soon as I walked in the room, she died. The nurses reassured me that she did see me and hear me one last time before she died. But it was still a huge shock because we thought we had longer, but I don't know how I'm gonna cope in the future. I just know somehow I am, and somehow we are. All of us. No. She died that morning. We're currently arranging her funeral plan, and for her remains to be, well, how do I put this politely without giving too much information, but I guess I could say her remains to be let go of this world in the way that she wanted. And for her respect, I will not disclose any of that on my channel. And she, although she's gone, she will never be forgotten. She was loved by many, many people. If I could have stayed with her for longer, I would. But there are rules. Now, she originally was receiving NHS care, but this hospice, although in an NHS hospital, is not NHS funded. It is a charity. So everything they did for her, they did mainly through donations from kind, caring people. Now, I am forever grateful for everything they've all done for my mum and for us. Now, this is very, as you can imagine, I'm very, very broken from this. I'm really, really struggling. But what is going to happen with the channel, although I've only done one video and I had so many plans for other videos I was going to record and do in the style of ASMR, I will be taking a break. I will still be available if you wish to contact me on Tumblr at Multiple Strong Minds, or if you wish to leave a comment, or if you would like, if you know me personally and want to contact me any other way, that's fine too. Just please don't go hunting for my information. If you don't know any other form or way to contact me, then either the comment section or the messaging or ask system on Tumblr. Even if you just want to leave your condolences or some kind words, they are more than welcome. sorry, this is in the style of ASMR that my channel would usually be, even though I've only done one video. But I am unfortunately not going to be able to record anything vocal at all, so I've decided to take a break unless I feel well enough to do something that does not require recording my voice, or anything similar, like requires me to do any amateur animations or anything silly like that. But what is going to happen? I don't know when I'll be back. Could be weeks, could be months. But this is just because I need a break. I need to process what has happened, how things are going to go forward, and how I am going to cope through this and beyond. I am terribly sorry to say that my mother was very important. She's been through so much in her life, and she did not deserve to die from something as horrible as cancer. But she beat it 3 times, and now it has finally taken her. But the most important thing, she wasn't in any pain, she wasn't in any discomfort, and she knew she had her daughters there with her in her final moments. And while she was laying there already dead, I told her about the DID and the altars. The nurses said she probably would hear me and she would have known about it. I'm sure she would have been more than accepting. But the biggest regret, possibly my only regret, I think, is that I didn't tell her sooner. That is the only regret I have right now. But it's so, it's just wishing we could have caught it sooner, even though I know such a thing would have been impossible. Anyway, listening to me moithering on, and this is where a bunch of non-Welsh speakers are going to go to the comments and ask, what does that mean? What is moithering? It's basically a Welsh version of waffling or talking on, going on a tangent, whatever you want to call it that. Whatever's most comfortable with you. But thank you for listening to my rambles, my moithering, my waffling, whatever you want to call it. But thank you so much for listening, or even if you just listened to the first part, knowing that my mother wasn't well and that she was dying, or even if you just heard that someone I knew was dying and was ill. If that's all you know, I thank you, even if you just listened to the first few seconds and decided to click off. I want you to know that I am more than grateful for you. Any comments, anything you want to leave, any kind words, any condolences are far more than welcome. And I hope you all are having a better day than I am, but I am going to need to, along with my sisters, fulfill her final wishes in terms of her remains and in terms of what she wants us to do with the remainder of her belongings, and of course the things that, for example, her pets, her cat Herman, who we like to call Hermie Squirms, and her dog Dexter, a lovely Jackawawa. In that case, I will continue to look after these two along with my own pets. That will be my cat Crystal, who is actually Herman's sister even. Sorry, I'm getting my words mixed up. Yeah. And my dog, a Jackashon named Barney. They will stay with me and I will continue to look after them. I don't know if they know what's happened or if they know that their mum isn't coming back, I will be with them and they will be with me. We will be there for each other, and I will have further support to keep us going and to help us cope with not only what we've been through, but the difficulties and everything with everyday life, adulting, functioning in a neurotypical world, despite being anything but. That's life though. But sometimes that's the lovely thing about life though. We always try to look for reasons, but that's something I stray away from because I strongly believe that sometimes the reason for things is just because. Just because. There's no because this happened or because it's the plan of some upper deity or because of some lifestyle choices or some unexpected vulnerabilities in our genes or whatever. Sometimes I prefer to just say she got this terminal illness just because. And I'm sure that's what she would want me to believe too. Thank you for listening. Even for my last minute moiders, I am probably going to cut this here now. Edit it, make sure it's clear. If it's not, I'll put subtitles on it. Thank you all so, so much. And thank you for your understanding. Thank you. And good night.